We went to Halifax to see Yvonne Lassiter and her snakes. I don't know her name. And she had an extension built onto her house in the shape of an octagon, I think. And when you walk in, there was a cage of iguanas and a cage of some other kind of lizard. And she brought in a bunch of really big snakes. And there was one snake that was, I think, 6.5 feet long. And I wasn't planning on holding it, but somebody next to me, Jason was next to me, and he was holding it, and it kind of just crawled from my arm up my sleeve and then around my neck. So I kind of ended up holding her for a while. And it wasn't nerve-wracking at all, but it was really weird having the snake skin against mine because I wasn't used to it, but it was really soft, so it was cool.
First walked in the room, there was iguanas, bearded dragons, and then she ended up bringing in a couple corn snakes and some big boa constrictors.
I kind of just tagged along to run the camera. I really don't care for snakes too much. And it wasn't too bad when there were just a couple lizards in the room. She had little like Komodo dragons or something. And those weren't too bad, but she brought in, there were like 5 or 6 snakes in there at once. And I didn't like that because they were all around me. But later she only had one, and I could handle that one because I knew where it was all the time. And I didn't have to worry about him crawling up behind me or anything.
The bearded dragons felt, her skin was a little bit like fine-grained sandpaper, and then like they had these spikes on their sides that look really hard and sharp, but they're like really soft, unless they're like flailing about, and then it does kind of hurt. When we first made the Snake Star video a couple years ago, Emily the boa constrictor, who was only about 3 feet long, wrapped around me. I thought that was pretty bad, but now that she's over 6.5 feet long, she was big.
Scales are pretty cold. Doesn't feel slimy like most people think that snakes are slimy creatures. It's just the light reflecting off their scales. Just like fish aren't slimy. Now she may look like she's constricting me. She's actually just pretty much holding on.
Well, when it grabbed onto the mouse, it kind of sniffs it for a while, and it really quickly just jumps up and grabs it. And then I guess it pops its jaw out of socket, and its mouth opens big enough to fit this mouse that's bigger than it in. And it takes in a little bit at a time. And after a while, all you see is the back half, and then just the tail. And then you can watch it use the muscles in its back to push it down to its stomach, and you can follow it all the way along until it gets about 2/3 of the way down. And then it stops, and that's where the stomach is.
I like snakes. I think they're cool. I don't know, there's something strange about them that just is like intriguing, I guess.
Oh, I don't really mind snakes. I was just putting on a show. The truth, I don't mind them as long as there aren't too many of them and they're smaller than me. But when there were two or three big ones in there along with the small ones, there was a lot. I didn't really like that.